What is going on, everyone? How's your 2019 going? I hope good. We're only 3 days into it. How bad can it be? Like I had promised, in 2019 we would start doing some international videos. Today we're going to go with airports again. International airports, to be more specific. On some of these international videos this year, I'll be getting help from my oldest son Thor, especially when we're talking about Europe. He spent the last 3 years traveling and living in Europe, so he's definitely a better tour guide than I could ever be. When I was younger, Europe never was something I was interested in, so I never really went. I know I missed out on a lot now that I'm older and know more about it, but I probably should have gone. Probably still should. I spent most of my time in Central and South America, and I really enjoyed it. What I never really enjoyed was landing in some of the airports in some of these countries. If you've ever flown to another country, like a third world country, I'm sure you've seen some, like I have, that are a little rough around the edges. And that's a mild description for some of the things we've all seen. This list is going to be some that I've experienced and some that I've heard about and did the research on. If that's not scientific enough for you, I'm sorry. Stop typing. Make your own channel and your own lists. I'll subscribe. I promise. That being said, why don't you fasten your seatbelt, have a mouthful of diet soda, a small bag of pretzels, and watch my top 10 worst airports outside the United States. Number 10. TGU Honduras. Toncontín Airport is scary. Now, I was on a flight to Honduras in 1999. I remember the year because the whole time during the approach to the airport, I was thinking, damn, I'm going to die and it's 1999. I almost made it to the turn of the century. The Toncontín Airport is nuts. It has mountains all around it. It's very populated around the airport, at least for Honduran standards, and there's some serious piloting going on when you're trying to land. Most airports have a nice long approach to the landing. Nice, safe, gentle approach. Not Toncontín. As you're coming in to land, you feel like you're 20 or 30 feet above the houses. All of a sudden, you make this hard left. As you're just straightening out from that hard left, you realize you're seconds away from landing. The airstrip is short, so you hard brake it as soon as you touch down. We had to go around and try it a second time when I went there in 99. The only flight I've ever been on where people were screaming like it was a roller coaster as we landed. People were hugging each other and crying when we finally stopped. It was weird. Number 9. CIA Italy. Rome Ciampino International Airport is the city's secondary airport. This is where you land if you took a budget flight to Rome. And if you don't know if you took a budget flight or not, you'll know when you get into the airport terminal. It's like a bus station in Modesto here. Everyone says don't try and walk to the train station from the airport. It's less than a mile away, but it's not in a good neighborhood. Take the shuttle to Rome. It's about a 30 to 60 minute shuttle, depending on traffic. Also, people at this airport have lost the mental ability to get in line and wait their turn. They don't know how to queue. Now, if you're going to fly out of CIA, this airport closes overnight, unlike most airports around the world. Many people have been in for a rude awakening when they're forced to sleep outside after deciding to sleep in the terminal while waiting for their early morning flight. Not good. Number 8. LTN London. London Luton International Airport seems to have always been under renovation. Something's always broken here. It may be good just to avoid this place altogether. Lines are long, there's no seating areas, and everything is expensive. And you get the feeling behind the scenes, everything's being held together by duct tape. One passenger went as far as saying, the only thing this airport does well is take your money. Number 7. HER Greece. Crete Heraklion International Airport in Greece is extremely small for being the second largest in the country, after Athens International. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I tried. The airport serves about 7.5 million passengers annually. The airport often hits maximum capacity inside, forcing passengers to wait for their planes outside. Those lucky passengers who are able to stay inside, they're really not that lucky. There's often not enough seating, there's no air conditioning, and it's been this way for a very long time. And it's not something they want to fix or even thinking about fixing, it seems like. I read one story that there's a herd of cats roaming around the terminal, like house cats in herds. I'm pretty sure that's a sign of something. Maybe the next apocalypse or something. Wait, have we had an apocalypse before? Maybe when the dinosaurs... I don't know. Moving on. Number 6. JUB South Sudan. Juba International Airport in South Sudan is arguably the worst airport ever. The airport consists of tents with rotting plywood floors, and they've had reports of passengers falling through and no one really coming to help them. There's no air conditioning or any circulating air for that matter, leaving the entire place very hot, and it stinks. If you ever have to go through customs in South Sudan, they ask you why you've come to South Sudan, and the most common answer is, I'm not a good decision maker. You know it's not a great airport or city when 80% of the flights are UN flights. Number 5. DME Moscow. Moscow DME Airport. I'd like to pronounce the real Russian term, but I've tried and I can't. But it's their airport. It's one of 3 airports in Moscow and is about an hour train ride from the city center. The airport has an average of 30 million passengers annually, which according to some passengers, the airport is in very poor condition, needing a serious remodeling and expansion to keep up with the amount of passengers. One estimate is this airport should only be seen about 10 million a year. It's way beyond capacity. And the architecture here, it's almost like they're trying to hold on to that old Soviet gulag thing. Once you get outside to the main part, it's really nice, but where you're loading up to the plane, it's very Soviet Union stuff. This place is just way too crowded. And another thing, one visitor said the security was probably the most intimidating thing he's ever been through in his life. Well, I guess that's Russia for you. Number 4. KRK Poland. Krakow John Paul International Airport is located in South Poland and sees about 6 million passengers every year. This is another one that they estimate should really only be seeing about 3 to 4 million people a year, but they're pushing it to 6. Most people suggest you avoid this airport at all costs due to the lack of cleanliness and rude customer service. One passenger even claimed airport staff went out of their way to humiliate their family. There are many reports of customer service people hurling insults at guests. At what point do you realize the hospitality industry may not be for you? After 4 or 5 F-bombs yelled at a customer, or is it closer to 10 or 11? Not sure. That's how they do it in Poland. Number 3. ARN Sweden. Stockholm Arlanda International Airport is the largest airport in Stockholm, seeing about 25 million passengers annually. Again, another place that's way too crowded. The first thing you'll have to do after security is find a place to buy bottled water. Even if you're not thirsty, buy bottled water. This is because nowhere in the airport is a drinking fountain of any kind. This often isn't one of the first things you think of, especially if you're not a local. I guess Swedes don't get thirsty. This famous airport always gets dinged for its moody personnel, constant flight delays, and lack of toilets in most gate areas. I guess when you're not drinking water, you don't need restrooms either in Stockholm. Number 2. EIN Netherlands. Eindhoven Airport in the Netherlands operates as both a public and a military airport. Most people feel this place isn't big enough for the traffic it receives. Not overly crowded, just not big enough for what it's getting. The main complaint about this airport seems to be only about the staff. All the employees seem to be very relaxed and laid back, which is better than having a rude employee, I guess. However, it becomes a problem when they don't do their job properly. This place has a serious issue with losing luggage as well. There's been whole flights that have just lost all their luggage. If you read their Yelp review, it's all the same thing. People not doing their job or doing it half-assed. It's even on their Facebook page. It was the same stuff. One person said in their review, it's like the whole airport came to work high. And number 1, CDG Paris. Charles de Gaulle Airport is the largest airport in France and second largest in Europe since its opening in 1974. Today, the airport has a reputation for being unorganized, unsanitary, and very slow, with many complaints that the staff may not be doing their job to the best of their ability, or anyone's ability. They're not even being efficient. They don't even try and get passengers to their planes, it seems like. I got the rundown on this place from my son. He'd been through there a couple times, and he said the place is wildly inefficient. He said that it's like a first grade class designed it and now manages this airport. That bad. But hey, at least you're in Paris. Alright, so that's my top 10 worst airports outside of the United States. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you got some information out of it. It's the first time doing an international one. We're gonna do some more. Everybody have a great day. Sorry if I mispronounced anything. I'm not used to a lot of these words. I tried to look them up, but just couldn't get them. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.